be sexy. You're creepy. Hey nerds, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope y'all had a wonderful New Year's Eve and you're having an even better New Year's Day. For real. So I wanted to start the new year by talking about the new movie Saltburn. I know. I know. I've got some things to say about this movie, so get comfortable because we're gonna be here for a minute. But before we do that, please leave a like. It really helps me out and I appreciate it. Thank you. That was crispy. Let's get into this. Saltburn is a psychological thriller and drama that came out in 2023, starring Barry Keoghan as Oliver and Jacob Elordi as Felix. Oliver is attending his first year at Oxford and he's not doing too well with fitting in with his peers. They don't like him because of his seemingly different background, so they're not really trying to be around him. But all that changes when Felix comes in and befriends him. Over the semester and over the course of time, they begin to get closer, they become friends, they start to bond. It's really nice. And then Felix invites Oliver over to his house at Saltburn to spend the summer with him and his family. The second Oliver steps foot into Saltburn, things start to exponentially get crazier and crazier. Hello? I need to turn my ringer off. There's drama, death, other stuff. Death is not funny, by the way. I'm not laughing at death. I was laughing at the uncomfortable bits. Those of you that have seen the movie, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about it in this video. So, and those of you who have not seen it, I'm about to give off some spoilers. So if you don't want to hear that, go watch somebody else's video. So I actually took some notes while watching this movie. I watched the movie twice. Yes, I watched it more than once. I can handle a lot. And here's the thing about that. I have seen worse movies. I've seen more disturbing things, but that does not make Saltburn any less disturbing. And on top of that, the movie was disturbing, but it was also really, really good. Love that. I love that combo. So I'm actually going to have some structure to this video. You know how I usually ramble on and just go off the cuff. I'm going to section this video off because I'm taking it seriously this time. I want to start with the details of the film itself because I like to go into stuff like that. I think it's really cool and it's great to be able to dissect those details. So the first thing that I noticed about the movie was how it was filmed. I did some research and turns out this movie was filmed on Kodak 35mm camera. Now listen, I know nothing about cameras or film terminology. Don't really know much about that, but all I can say is it was pretty damn cool. It gave a retro feel to the entire movie, especially how the credit and the title like danced across the screen in the beginning. I absolutely loved it. It reminded me of like the older Disney princess movies, but this is no Disney movie, I'm telling you that right now. And this is also something that I noticed. There was a lot of close-up shots. Not to say that there weren't any wide shots, there were plenty, but I do feel, maybe this is just me and I'm just talking out the side of my face, but I do feel like the close-ups were adding to the storytelling itself because Oliver is such an observant and perceptive person. I feel like the close-up shots were a personification or a showing the imagery of like what he's seeing, you know, in this movie. You know, the acting, I thought it was exceptional. I really do believe Barry and Jacob as Oliver and Felix, they feel like real people, real college students. It didn't feel like over dramatized, like, you know, that really bad soap opera acting that you sometimes see. It was very natural and it wasn't forced. They did an excellent job. Speaking of which, can we just give a round of applause for Jacob Elordi and his character as Felix in this movie? Like, the stuff that I've seen him in so far, he's been like this brooding bad boy with like temper issues and like a dark past. And he's got like a happy character, like a golden retriever type character in this movie. And he played it very well. Wonderful job, darling, for your versatility. Good job. The house, Felix's house, I thought it was damn gorgeous, okay? And it was very old money. You know, you can tell whether something is old money versus new money, and that whole the whole freaking place just screamed old generational wealth. We're better than you. And he even said in the movie, like, I'm sorry everything is so old fashioned. I'm like, I would have been like, don't be sorry, like, I'm digging it, I like the vibes. If that was me, I would have been like, don't apologize, I love it here. So I want to talk about something that's very minute, but it kept jumping out at me. The lighting design, especially like when it was like early daytime or nighttime in the movie, I thought it was very beautiful. The way that the cooler tones and like dark lighting would jump out like during the scenes filmed like at night. They were outside at night a lot now that I think back to it. Why was they outside all the time at night? It was kind of like a gothic, dramatic feel. I can't explain it. It was just like you felt it was the night. And the lighting in those scenes would like just, you know, amp up the personality of the persona of like the darkness. I thought it was great. Especially like the backlighting of like the moonlight on certain characters when they would be out there in the silhouettes. It was just artistry at its finest. And then when it was like the daytime and it was bright because it's summer vacation, I felt the warmth like through the screen. Time for a spoiler. Another detail of the film that I very much admired was the gradual descent into chaos of Oliver's character. Now, maybe I'm not perceptive and I'm just probably dumb, but the twist, I did not see coming. I did not expect Oliver to be the bad guy here. And I was expecting Felix to be, because you know Jacob Elordi's always some type of bad guy, which I shouldn't have assumed. So sorry. But that took me aback. And then it was also interesting to see that contrast between Felix's warm and compassionate personality versus Oliver's slow descent into rage and madness. Shook me. Okay, that's all that mattered. Shook me. So do y'all remember the scene the morning after Oliver's birthday party and everyone's looking for Felix? Do y'all remember when Oliver was looking like over the balcony or wherever he was at, like at the lawn? It was just a mess of the night before, like, you know, trash and costume, clothes, party decorations everywhere, just scattered amok throughout the entire lawn, right? To me, I may be reading too much into this, but to me, that symbolized the mess that Oliver made when he got to Saltburn. That mess that he was looking at, it was a mirror reflection of what he had done to that family. That's just my take on it. That's my interpretation. That's not fact. That's just my opinion. Don't attack me. Leave me alone. Another scene that I really appreciated was the scene where they were all sitting in the dining room after Felix was found. And the dad was like, yo, Duncan, can you close the curtains? So when he went to go close the curtains and like it got stuck, that sound design, like the really like loud rackety sound of like the curtain getting stuck on the rod, each time he would pull it, it would cut to a different person at the table. And like their distraughtness, that's not a word, their distraught emotion on their face and that sound adding to like what they were feeling in that moment, it would just cut, curtain pull, cut, curtain pull. Like it was like building up tension. I was like, ooh, oh my gosh, like my hair stood up on the back of my neck. It was giving very much Neo. It gave me chills. I was like, oh my god, like someone's gonna like snap. And then the dad ended up snapping. And so when the curtains are finally closed, like it paints the whole room red. Girl, Doja Cat. And it's like this red film over everyone and everything. And to me, that symbolized like what each character was feeling at that moment. Their despair, their anger, their grief, their disgust. And it cascaded onto them and it brought that emotion out to be more tangible. I thought that was amazing. I don't know if they meant to do that, but chef's kiss, that was awesome. I loved it. So I didn't notice this the first time around watching it, but I did the second time. So when Oliver finally gets to Saltburn, there's like this shot with the chandelier, you know, in the close-up, and then like there's like a fly trap in it, like the fly paper, and they had flies caught up all in it. And I was like, huh, interesting imagery. So I got to thinking with my big brain energy, because you know me, I was like, huh, so is the message behind this imagery like, you know, don't get caught up in the lavish life because there are consequences? But no, for real, like getting caught up in the lavish life could lead to more consequences. You know what they say? More money, more problems. And the flies paid heavily for that. That's what you get for living in Saltburn, flies. Now I'm going to talk about random thoughts that I had throughout the film. So I wrote these thoughts down the first time that I watched the movie, and they're like going in order, like in the sequence of like the scenes that are happening, and I'm gonna share them with you. So in the beginning, when the credits were rolling and it, you know, shows everybody's names or whatever, I saw Margot Robbie's name like in like under producer. I was like, she co-produced this? I said, okay. I ain't mad at you, Barbie. Like, this is a wonderful year for you. I love that for her. So my initial thought when Farley first came on the screen, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna love him. He's such a golden retriever. He's the personification of the color yellow. He's so happy and upbeat and so just, I love him. And then I realized I spoke too soon. He's just a pretentious asshole. And he's very much rude and messy. Like, And then I repeated this same thing. I have never seen Jacob Elordi in such an upbeat persona before. Like, I've never seen him smile or be happy in a role before. And I'm just like, wow, this is new. This is refreshing. I like this for Jacob Elordi. Good job, dude. Speaking of Felix, the eyebrow piercing. I still don't know how I feel about it. I was like, I know this is set in 2006, but I was like, I was like, I don't know if I dig it or if I like, it's bothering me. I'm still not. I also noticed, like, I also was thinking about how compassionate and kind Felix was towards Oliver. He's just so like, he's like a warm hug. He's just like, oh, come here, mate. I'm not even going to attempt to do my British accent. I haven't done it since I was 12. It's probably ass now. You're not getting it from me. I don't want the Brits coming to attack me. I don't want that. And then on another note, Felix is painfully unaware of how privileged he is. It stung to me and it made me cringe because I have friends like that who do not realize how good they have it and how privileged they are. And they'll be like, oh, we can just do this. I'm like, no, baby. Not all of us can do that. And that's the vibes that Felix was giving off. I know he didn't mean it in any like malicious way, but it was like, oh, like you're a rich boy flaunting, you know, your status and you don't recognize that. So when Oliver first gets to Saltburn, he automatically pissed me off because he walked right across that lawn, that freshly mowed rich people grass. Like, you could have, there was a trail for you to walk around. Why the f did you not just walk around? I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad for Oliver. Like, during that first encounter with his entire family, with Felix's entire family, they was talking mad stuff about him. It was just, especially the mama, Elspeth, girl, gossip queen. Wendy Williams, I got nothing on her. Listen, she was talking the utmost smack about Oliver, all his business. And then Felix was like, come on, I told you that in confidence. And Farley freaking, he was like, well, you said it. That don't mean tell everybody, damn. Don't like his family, period. I don't even like the sister. I mean, she seemed like well-meaning enough, but then there was something about her like, I don't know. I don't know about Venetia. I was kind of weary of Venetia this entire movie. Even though she technically... No, she did something wrong. So, can we talk about the naked sunbathing thing in the wheat field? And I'm just sitting here, like, I'm watching the scene. I'm like, is this what rich people do in their free time? Like, you take off all your clothes, you get booty ball ass naked, and you lay down in the wheats in a field and just soak up the rays of the sun? Okay, girl. Oh, the Harry Potter comment when they're all, like, chilling, like, by the pond or wherever they're at. And then Felix is like, do y'all think Harry, Hermione, and, Hermione. Do y'all think Harry, Hermione, and, Ron be like, you know, doing it? And then Farley was like, oh, for sure. And if they're not, they're totally missing out. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the realism of these college age students having a conversation like this. Because this sounds like something that my friends and I would, like, be theorizing about. And I was sitting there like, wait, do they actually? I thought that was funny. I'm not even a Harry Potter fan like that. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Do they be? The bathtub scene. This is what y'all came for. I already know. So, I hate to admit this, but the way that I found out about this movie was on TikTok. I know. Hold your tomatoes, please. And I kept seeing the words Saltburn and bathtub in the same sentence. I'm like, hey, what is going on? Everyone's, oh my god, the bathtub scene, and god. And so I finally get to the bathtub scene. It shook me. And I was like, oh. Because, you know, he did his thing in the tub, and he was watching him through the cracked door, very stalker-like, very Lifetime movie-ish. Dude sucked up whatever water was left that had that stuff in it and drank it like it was his first drink in 80 years. I was like, That was a choice. And I don't know why, because now I don't think this anymore, but this is what I thought when I first watched it. I was like, why do I feel like Felix knew Oliver was watching him? I just had that feeling in the back of my mind, but now that I've seen it twice, I'm like, okay, he probably didn't know. But upon first viewing, I was like, he might know that Oliver is watching him diddle himself in the bathtub. Can we talk about the conversation that Oliver had with Veronica in the garden or wherever they was at night? Sir, you're roasting her for her eating disorder? I'm like, and this is where I got to thinking, I'm like, is he evil now? Like, where did this come from? Like, he being so rude. And then right after he roasted her for having an eating disorder, the vampire thing, I was like, nah, they not gonna do this. They not gonna do this to me. Mind you, I was watching this movie at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh. And dude was like, since you're not gonna eat, I'm gonna just eat you instead. I was like, oh. You gonna do what? And then Venetia was telling him like, yo, I'm on that time of the month. It's not a good time. And he was like, lucky for you, I'm a vampire. Like, ew. Ew. And then he proceeds to, you know, feel around. And then he gives himself a taste, love. And then he smears it all over her face like lipstick and then all over her neck. Like, what? And then he proceeds to do what he said he was going to do. Meanwhile, Farley's nosy, messy ass is watching from his bedroom window. And then he like, I'm a snitch. And he very much did snitch. I was like, Farley! It's the fact that he wasn't even, like, appalled. He was just like, y'all nasty, I'ma tell. So now I'm thinking, I'm like, so are Oliver and Venetia like a thing? And yes, Venetia has been like trying to make an effort to get to know him and like do all that stuff since he first got to Saltburn. But I'm like, are they a thing now? I think the whole point of this movie was that Oliver was obsessed with Felix. So I'm confused at this point. I'm like, okay, so you about to try and smash both the brother and the sister, keep it in the family type stuff. I'm confused at this point. And then when I get to the party, I'm like, so now he coming on a Farley? He coming on a Farley? Oh, before that, dude straight up lied to Felix's face. I just spit so much. Splash zone for those of you in the front row. I'm so sorry. Cause he was like, Felix was like, yo, Farley told me that you was messing around with Venetia last night. And then he was like, no, that's not what happened. She came on to me. I'm like, I know you're not sitting up here lying in Felix's face like that. You lying. I'm like, ooh, cause one thing about me, I hate a liar. Even if it's a fictional character, why are you lying? You lying for what? Back to the whole Farley thing. So after Oliver was like, why did you snitch on me? Why you snitch on me? For what? They started flirting a little bit. I'm like, so now you're coming on to the cousin now too? What's wrong with you? You just want to taste it, everybody. In the Farley scene, in his room, here's my thing. So TikTok was all about the bathtub scene, right? That's all I kept hearing about Saltburn. Y'all didn't talk about the vampire scene. Y'all didn't talk about the cousin scene. Y'all sure as hell didn't talk about the grave scene. Where was that at? Y'all so worried about that bathtub scene. Y'all didn't talk about the grave scene. We're gonna get to that. Let me calm down. Let me simmer. Take my time. Pace myself. Okay. The assault on Farley. So this was the point in the movie where I was like, okay, Oliver is evil, no doubt about it. Like, I'm convinced. And he was trying to be like domineering with it. Like, are you gonna be? Don't try and be sexy. You're creepy. You did the same stuff with Venetia back in the garden, wherever I was at in the night. Girl. And then like Farley was in between a space where he was like, do it and don't do it. Bro did not give dude consent at the end of the day, so that was assault. And y'all wasn't talking about that. No one talked about that. And then Oliver had the nerve to like plant drugs in his room so he could get booted out of Saltburn. How you going? I'm moving on. It's like, yes, Farley is an asshole. He been mean to you. He's had it out for you since when y'all met. I get that, but this was not how to get payback, sir. You dirty for that, Oliver. Like, for real. For real. I forgot this detail earlier. So y'all remember when it was breakfast time and the whole family was talking about like poets and stories from Shelley or whatever. So Venetia, she was like, so the housekeeper saw like Shelley in the window and she waved, but she remembered that Shelley was in Italy. So that was a doppelganger of his. And then a few hours later, he came up dead. The foreshadowing blew my mind. Because if you didn't pay attention in the back, when she was saying that, Felix walked by the window. He walked by the window. Go back and watch if you don't believe me, if you didn't catch the first time. But when Venetia said the thing about the doppelganger, Felix walked by the window in his little pink shirt. He walked right on by, giving Dionne Warwick, but he's still sitting in there with them. The foreshadowing. Crazy. I didn't notice that at first. Blew my mind when I like caught it the second time. I was like, hold up. I said, I know that's not Felix outside walking by, but he in here eating his toast. Back to my thoughts, my random thoughts. So why did I quite literally cry when Felix died? I was so sad because he didn't do nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong, and he did not deserve to die. If anything, we know who deserved to die. But I'm just saying, like, dang, Felix, Felix. And then after that, I was like, hold on. Did this bitch Oliver kill Felix? Now it's time to talk about the grave scene. No warning. No, nothing. I didn't get no type of warning. So I posted on my channel, like on the community thing. I was like, I'm about to watch Saltburn. Should I be scared? Y'all ain't said nothing to me. That's okay though. I learned my lesson. What? How messed up do you have to be to do something like that? Dude stripped down past the skivvies. And I thought I was tripping at first. I was like, there's no way that was what I just saw. There's no way that's it. So I rewinded it. I was like, oh, that's him. That was real. That wasn't no fake. Fake ones don't move like that. And I was like, oh no, not on the grave. Dude just got his body put in the dirt. And you gonna pull this? You gonna pull this right now? It disgusted me, but I could not look away. It was like a, I don't know. It was really, really bad. And then so I'm at the end of the movie and I'm like, so you mean to tell me this whole time Oliver was evil? He planned all of this. He planned to off almost everybody, if not everybody, in the family just to achieve Saltburn in his possession. Oh, I forgot about this. Oliver lied. He wasn't from the trenches. His daddy and his mama weren't drug addicts. They were well off, and he had siblings that he lied about. Because he said to Felix that he didn't have no sisters or brothers. Yes, you do. And then rightfully so, Felix was mad. He was like, bro, you lied to me. And he still gave him grace. He goes, you know what? After your party tomorrow, you should go home and I'll see you back at school. If that were me, I would say, I'm cutting you off all the way. Like, you're not seeing me at school. You lose my number, lose my Facebook, lose my MySpace. No. Felix gave him grace still even after he found out that he lied. Which is all the more reason why he shouldn't have died. He was just too good. And then he's telling like his whole master plan to the mama who's now on her deathbed. And he's like, wahaha, like I finally get to reveal my like years long plan or whatever the hell. And then all the while he's doing this, he snatched her sheet off and he was like, you know, caressing. I was like, you want to do this to the mama too? Was the sister, the brother, and the cousin not enough? Was that not enough for you? You better do it to the mom. You better do this to the mama on her deathbed. He ripped that tube out of her throat. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, this is visceral. I was like, who wrote this part? Who wrote this part? You need to go talk to somebody. What was the end? Can we talk about the end? So, dude is high on that booger sugar, dancing through the house that he now has acquired because he killed the whole family. In just full frontal, just dick swinging, appendage flopping to and fro. And then when I found out that was all buried, that wasn't no prosthetic, I said, And then like okay, I don't get the puppet thing. Like the puppets in the box, like the Catton's puppet in the box thing that's been shown throughout the entire movie. I still don't know what the imagery was like from that. Because someone explain it to me. If y'all have a theory about the imagery on that, please let me know in the comments, because I don't know what the whole puppet in the box thing, dolls situation was about. Someone explain it to me, because I didn't look that deep into it. I'm still confused, because he was like playing with that at the end of the movie. He was like, you know, patting himself on the back and like, I offed you all, I got what I wanted, ha ha ha, you know. Wait, was it like him like having them on the strings, like the puppets in the box, because he was playing all of them? Is that what that means? Y'all tell me. I don't know. And then the upbeat music at the end of the movie, like this was a happy ending. No, that was so like disorienting. I was like, why is this happy upbeat song playing right now? What is going on? This is not a happy situation. This is a effed up situation, if anything. But yeah, those were my random thoughts throughout the entire duration of the movie, in order. Thank you. So the last thing I want to talk about is the commentary of this movie that I derived, you know, just from like thinking on it a little bit. And this is like what I said before, like more money, more problems. Like no amount of money can make you happy. It can't solve all your problems. It may feel good in the moment, like when you're surrounded by all these like prized possessions and like all this expensive stuff. And then like, what is it really healing your soul? Is it really filling that void? Because you could tell that each family member had something going on like internally. But we're rich, so it's fine. Like no, like I see right through y'all. I see right through y'all. And it's also another thing is like the height of which you are holding yourself. Like you're high up in society, but you're engaging in all these deviant activities. I thought you're supposed to be the best of the best, Aristocat. No. no, Talia. Aristocrats. Oh my gosh. Like, you're supposed to be like the better ones, right? Rich people. Why are you doing all this deviant fuck shit? like, why are you doing all this deviant stuff? Like, you're no better than the rest of us, love. You're just getting away with it because you're rich and you got money. That's pretty much it. I also want to talk about the privileged friend and the non-privileged friend. I touched on this a little bit earlier in the video, but I want to go deeper into that. And like I said, I have lived this trope. I don't know if trope is the right word to use. Whatever. Granted, I didn't have any friends that were as wealthy as Felix, but it was the same sentiment, same principles. Like, it was just so... They were so blinded by their own, you know, socioeconomic status that they didn't see how it was affecting other people around them who didn't live the same way. And then they would be all confused and like, be like, oh, like, what did I do? Bro, you're flashing your money and your lifestyle in my face as if I can catch up with you, and you know I can't. And I saw Felix do that a lot. I know he didn't mean it, but he very much did do that. Okay, let's be real. And then the last little bit of commentary that I want to talk about is the debt that you have to pay with obsession. Obviously, as we've seen with Oliver, it can cause you to like lose your mind and act in an abnormal way. Like, laser focus obsession is very blinding and narcissistic and unhealthy in general. Like, it's just bad. We saw that development within Oliver throughout the entire movie, and that was a good like way to show the dark sides. There's no light bright side to obsession, but I'm saying like how dark it can get with obsession is what I meant to say. Thank you. Overall, I like the movie. I like the movie. While it was disturbing in some disrespective parts, if you overlook that and like actually focus on the story and like the imagery, the character, like, it was a well-written movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly both times that I watched it. 9.5 out of 10. I'm taking 0.5 off for the ding-a-ling in the dirt, because that was too much for me. I'm sorry. That was too much for me. Now that's gonna be an image that is burned on my brain for a long time. But yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for me. Wonderful job, Emerald. Thank you. Yeah, that was my review on the movie Saltburn. That concludes our video for today. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like. Do that for me. Yeah, also, if you guys want to comment about what you thought of the movie, if you've seen it, yeah, let me know. I want to hear what you guys thought about it. And if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry I spoiled it for you. And subscribe if you want to. I'll see y'all on the next go round. Okay, bye.